What is up, Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And today on the podcast, I'll be telling a personal story, and hopefully you guys can gain some value from it. Basically, the gist is how to get back on track once you have slipped up a little bit. And it's super common right now with the holidays. People are traveling. Maybe you're a business owner, which a lot of my clients are, and you're trying to hit some end of year numbers. Maybe you're getting ready for a trip and you're trying to crunch out all your work beforehand so other things go to the wayside and that sort of thing. So anyway, figured this would be helpful. But before I dig in, just wanted to thank you for listening to the podcast. If you enjoy it, if you could share, rate the show, subscribe, that just helps me help more people and get in front of more people, which is the goal of the show. So, I'd greatly appreciate it. But let's dig in. So, if you watch the show on YouTube or Substack or whatever, you probably noticed I was wearing the same thing for the past 4 episodes. That's because I bulk recorded. Usually I'll do a few days before or whatever, but I was going out of town. So I tried to prepare with by pre-recording a bunch of stuff and just scheduling them out ahead of time so I didn't have to stress about it when I was on the road and out and about. But I'm back home, and today is the day before this is going to be released. So, but anyway, point being of that is I was out of town. And for this trip, I work part-time for another coaching company. And we had an on-site. So basically Wednesday through Friday of last week, I was there in person in California. I have family in California, so I kind of did a twofer. I did the on-site, had the company holiday party, and then I moseyed my way over to my parents, and we hung out for a couple days before I flew back home early Monday. So, and part of this trip was I'm a type A schedule planner lady, but if I don't know what's going on, I can't plan for it. It freaks me out and makes it more challenging, so to speak, to prepare nutritionally, training-wise, sleep-wise, other things-wise. Those are kind of the big 3. So anyway, I didn't know where I was staying. I didn't know if food would be provided or not. And those were kind of the 2 biggest variables because I didn't know location-wise where I didn't know if I'd have a fridge or food preparation and all that stuff. So anyway, point being is for the past, up until I started tracking again on Saturday. So from Wednesday through part of Saturday, I did not track. And that's totally fine. It's not a big deal. But the biggest hurdle was my sleep was really poor. For also a lot of reasons. So the Airbnb we were staying at, they had 2. So one was for the men remote coaches and one was for the female remote coaches and their significant others. We did not have access to the Airbnb host's information until the following morning. And it was literally 50 degrees in this Airbnb. So my sleep was trash on Wednesday. And leaving Wednesday, I had to stay up late packing because I was trying to front load my work. And so I stayed up late working Tuesday night. And then Tuesday, had to pack early flight because those are the cheapest. So we left our house. We were up at 4. Yeah, we were up at 4. Went to bed probably like 10:30. So not a lot of sleep, which, because I always have a lot of sleep, I feel a big impact. So already sleep deprived. As I've talked about multiple times before on the show, on this podcast, poor sleep leads to dysregulated hunger and fullness cues. So leptin and ghrelin. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. Leptin is your fullness hormone. They're kind of all out of whack. And so if you're not tracking and you're sleep deprived, probably going to overindulge and eat a little bit more than necessary. So yeah, so poor sleep, not planning food, not tracking food, definitely overindulged. I totally overindulged. If any of you have heard of Pizza My Heart, had 3 big ass pieces of that one of the nights. And I had no regrets. It was really good, but that's almost half of an 18-inch pizza. So definitely, yeah, a couple instances like that. But I did the best that I could because I didn't prepare. And I'm going to talk about things that I'm going to do next time with this foresight. So to help you guys work through, like, if something like this happens, what are some things that you can do to help prevent these hurdles in the future? So anyway, lack of planning on my part. I mean, I wasn't sure if they were going to provide food, so I didn't want to buy a bunch of food and waste money because it's expensive to fly out to California. It's expensive to buy groceries in California. It's expensive to breathe in California. So super glad I don't live there anymore. But anyway, so I had to prepare. Well, I didn't prepare because I wasn't sure. And I'm like, if I'm going to get free food, because it's a fitness coaching company, there's probably going to be a lot of protein and a decent amount of fiber, I'd assume. There was only one meal paid for besides the dinner on Friday. So I was I forget sayings. So I was going to say like hanging by my coattails. Is that like a saying? Anyway, hanging by my coattails. And then because of the poor sleep, I was hungrier and we went out to eat. Actually, no regrets. I found a really dope breakfast diner. So we ate there 2 mornings, my husband and I. My husband came with me, which was nice. And thank goodness he did, because that night when it was really cold, which actually there were a couple nights that it was super cold, I just cuddled up to him and he was my heater, but I still had poor sleep because it was so cold, like 50 degrees. It's like crazy. Anyway, so the poor sleep, the not tracking, the not planning, all led to me feeling, well, as a lot of you know, I'm sure, because I've chatted about this before, it's really hard to get fiber in general on the road if you're not planning, if you're going out to eat, because they don't care about your digestion. They care about flavor. They want you to come back. They want you to eat more. So usually things are lower in fiber at restaurants, so you eat more and buy more food because they're less physically filling. They're usually higher in simple carbs and fats, meaning calories are higher. Satiety, which is fullness, is lower, so you'll buy more, eat more, they make more money. You leave round and happy. So anyway, so my digestion was super off too. My digestion was off. I was grumpy because my sleep was super poor. I was tired. So I didn't work out until that Friday. And the workout wasn't as great as it usually is, but I'm like, I need to do something. I dragged my husband with me. It was really cool. We got to train at the studio together. And yeah, then we had the good diner breakfast. But anyway, so what I did do, which was smart, is on those lunch breaks that we had, if I could, I would go, there was a Whole Foods and there was like a little Mexican restaurant. So one day we went there to the Mexican restaurant for lunch and we got tacos. And so I wasn't super hungry, but I know I need to keep, it was because I didn't have regular bowel movements and because I felt bloated. And I'm like, I need to keep my regular eating routine because that's going to help. And I knew that we wouldn't have a break later. So I did get some tacos and stuff. So anyway, tacos. And then the other day I got a box a box of raspberries. Raspberries super high in fiber. So a box of raspberries and a protein shake from the Whole Foods. That was probably about 3/4 of a mile away-ish. So glad that I did. And on the days that I didn't train, like as was anticipated, I just made sure to be active. And there was one day I did not hit my steps. But the following days, and actually, funnily enough, that was the day I ate the obscene amount of pizza. But on those, and then the other thing, like I'm a big planner, but when you're staying with other people, you don't want to be super rigid. Be like, no, I'm doing this thing. Because I was more about like, I wanted to get to know the other coaches. I wanted to hang out with them. I wanted to talk shop and learn from them and befriend them and stuff. And so I wanted to hang around them. So I didn't. And like in hindsight, I could have been like, no, I don't really want pizza. Like, let's go here. But I'm like, everybody was down and I want to hang out with these people. And I hadn't had pizza in a while. So it's totally worth it. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, but the other days, I made sure to overexceed my step count. So the average of the week was a lot closer to normal, actually probably more than normal. I think I got 16,000 steps one day. Usually my average is about 10 to 11,000. So that 7,000 step day was easily brought up by that 16,000 step day. So anyway, I was somewhat disappointed in myself, but not really, because given the circumstances, I did pretty well. I tried my best with the information that I had and with the knowledge that I have. But now, what would I do next time? I would order food from Instacart to the Airbnb's address or to the office's address and eat the foods that make me feel good. And if like I didn't want to, then that's okay. Then I would not eat the food that I pack. But I just feel better when I have more control over my food because I know what works well with my body and when I'm not. And this can sound like extremely restricted, but it's not. It's not like I'm scared I'm going to get fat. It's like, no, I just want to feel good all the time as best as I can. So I'd rather control what I'm putting into my body because I know that's just going to make me feel better. And if I'm feeling better, then I'm more enjoyable to be around. I'm a better worker. I'm sharper. I'm a better coach. I'm a better wife. I'm a better friend. So anyway, so point being, next time I'd order Instacart. With the temperature regulation, I'd say that first day I'd be like, hey boss, give me the Airbnb's contact information just in case, because if something happens again like that, at least I can plan ahead. Despite it being California, I should have packed more warmer clothing. I mean, I packed jeans and a coat and one sweatshirt, but it felt colder in California than it felt in Utah, which is wild. With movement, I say I did a pretty damn good job. Training, I'm glad. So I would have trained the other days, but because my sleep was so poor and I felt super crappy and like I might be coming down with something, I didn't want to push. Because what I did in the past, which this is what I'm really proud of myself. In the past, I would work out despite being sick, and then I'd get more sick. So I'm like, look, I don't feel good. I'll walk. I'll get some steps in. I'll be mindful kind of my eating habits, and I'll push the workouts later. And so when I felt better later that weekend, I got my other workouts done. So, yeah. So, and the only other thing is sleep schedule was off, partly because, hanging around other people, probably because we're super cold. But honestly, I'm not super rigid about that. I more prefer, I notice a difference with energy levels and stuff, but I'd rather focus on connecting because I don't get that opportunity more than trying to be rigid about my sleep schedule. And I was already in a different time zone, not a huge difference, but enough to where if I kept my sleep schedule, I'd be going to bed at 8 p.m., which very unrealistic. Given some of the days we ate at 7, I'd rather go to bed later, not on a full stomach, than go to bed early and miss out on community building relationships with other coaches. So anyway, point being, next time, Instacart for sure. Packing warmer clothes, getting the Airbnb's contact information, and I should have packed a little bit earlier. Maybe that Sunday I should have worked a little bit, and that would have offloaded some of the Tuesday work. My Tuesdays are always crazy, and I know that, but I decided to wait. And that kind of set me up for not failure, but like a less enjoyable experience on that day that I landed. Like I felt really tired and groggy and all that stuff. So now I know. And other than that, yeah. So hopefully this was helpful for you. It's like and this is how I got back on track. So because I felt so crappy, and what I do when I'm eating out or out of routine, I try to listen to how I feel. This is the biggest, I guess, mind-boggling moment. I try to listen to how I feel because that helps me make better decisions in the future. So like every once in a while, we'll go out to eat. Maybe I'll get a whole pizza or something. Not like a 18-inch pizza, but like, like one of those fancy Italian pizzas or whatever. That doesn't usually always agree with me the best, but I enjoy it. So I want to do it on occasion. But every time I have it, I'm always like, I can wait another couple months to do that again because I don't feel super good. And so anyway, that's kind of what I did to get back into it. I'm like, I don't feel good. I'm bloated, tired, coming down with something. I want to get back into the swing of things. So I started tracking again on Saturday. We went out to eat for breakfast, and that evening my dad made food. He grilled some meat and made some sweet potatoes and other stuff. And so I didn't track the dinner, but I did track that breakfast, and I tracked that lunch. And because I did that, it made it easier that next day to continue that, and then that next day to continue that. And now I'm just back into the swing of things. And I think sometimes people overthink it. It's like just one small thing to get you back into your routine. And it's hard too if you're still out of town and because the environment plays a big role in habits and consistency and behaviors. Like a lot of the things that I usually do when I'm at home, I did not do when I was out and traveling at all. Because I don't have those like little friendly reminders or things. Like, sometimes you might leave out like a supplement. Like I forgot to take a lot of my supplements because I was traveling and they were in a Ziploc baggie. So I forgot, and my eating schedule was off. My morning schedule, sleep schedule was off. So I totally forgot about a lot of them. But now they're back in that counter spot next to my coffee maker. So when I make coffee in the morning, I'm like, hey, there are my supplements. Let me take those. So being out of environment can be difficult, but what is like one thing that you tend to enjoy doing or gravitate towards that could be easy to get started doing again? And I like tracking. I like to learn what's in my food. It helps hold me accountable because I tend to be, unless I'm eating like an asshole, as I was saying in the previous episode, unless I'm like eating something and I'm ravenous and I'm just, stuffing my face, I tend to undereat because of my history. And so tracking my food makes sure that I'm eating enough and eating enough of the right things. so that I fuel my body properly. I can perform well, I can feel good, I can be healthy. So that's an easy one for me. And then movement. I love to go on walks and get some sunlight. And so that Saturday, I was so tired because the night before was that holiday party. And I had like maybe 2 cocktails the whole night. But the house was really cold again, so the sleep was really bad. And we went to bed at 1 because we were hanging out with some other coaches. And so sleep was really bad. I was super tired. That morning we woke up, we walked to that really good diner. Shout out to Uncle John's Pancake House off of, I think it's Almaden. Check it out if you're in San Jose. It's just a classic diner. It's nothing crazy, but it's good. It's good and consistent. Good hash browns, good English muffin, good ham, good eggs, good coffee. What more can you ask for? Anyway, so got on a walk, prioritized protein, had that, packed up, and then went to my parents' place, and we went on a bunch of walks. I was very tired. If any of you follow me on Facebook, I posted a photo yesterday of me passed out on the couch with dogs napping on me. That was that Saturday. I took a nap. And then that night, I slept 10 plus hours. I woke up once to pee, but I passed out. I went right back to sleep. I never sleep longer than like 7.5, 8 hours. So that was crazy. That was insane. But then that next day, I felt good because I got sleep. I started moving again. I prioritized protein and fiber on that Saturday. So my digestion was getting back to kind of normal-ish. And then, I hit my workout. I was dumb and I pushed too hard on deadlift and my lower back's been sore. Your lower back shouldn't be sore. I did 1 extra rep and I compromised form in order to get that rep. So that's my bad. But anyway, got back into it and now I'm back into the swing of things. I had to shift my workouts around a little bit this week because of the lower back soreness, and I didn't want to start squatting with a weak lower back, because if your lower back's really, really sore, you can't brace your core well and you can get injured. So switched it around and I'm back into the swing of things. So anyway, action items for you guys. If you have a trip or something coming up in the next couple weeks, which most people do, there's Christmas, there's New Year's, a lot of people travel, or your just routine gets kind of out of whack, prepare. Say like, kind of foreshadow what's going to happen. And based on what's going to happen, give yourself a game plan to get back into the swing of things, or to maybe prevent some behaviors that don't serve you. And by that I mean like, despite the fact that I didn't have control over a lot of things, I did the best that I could in the situation. Yeah, I made some poor decisions, but I don't regret them because I got value from other things. Like I got connection. I had some gluttony, which we don't eat out a lot. So I honestly so glad I had 3 pieces of that pizza. It was delicious. So I did the best that I could, and I listened to my body, and listening to my body made it easier for me to get back into my regular routine. Because I don't know about you, but being bloated, tired, low energy, it sucks. So whenever I can get back into my regular routine and feel good again, I just much more enjoy it. So anyway, don't beat yourself up if you do things that are counter to your goals. Just enjoy it, be present, enjoy those little out of routine days, be present with family, friends. If you're traveling, be present with your vacation and yourself and relax and unwind. But also connect to how your normal routine makes you feel and then get back into it. But start with one small thing. So, foreshadow potential challenges, either pre-plan, going off plan, or if you're not pre-planning and you just do go off plan, give yourself some easy wins to get back into the swing of things. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful. If you like the show, or if there's something else you want me to talk about that I've talked about in the past, you want me to dig into more, I'd be more than happy to chat about. I kind of just come up with topics based on my life experiences and or what my clients are going through, or the time of year that it is, based on what I kind of foreshadow most people are struggling with. So if you listen avidly and you're like, hey, I want you to talk about this thing, I'd be more than happy to. I'm an open book when it comes to my health and fitness journey because I think people can learn a lot from others, and that's why I coach anyway. So yeah, just let me know. And if you enjoy this, rate the show, subscribe, share to friends and family members that this might help. And that's it for today. I'll chat with you guys next time. Peace.